What's up? I'm Troubleshoot. In this quick guide, I'll show you how to maximize profit in Arena Breakout Infinite and get yourself a ton of money for free without having to spend anything. Let's go ahead and do it. So, first of all, the most profitable way to make money as quick as possible in Arena Breakout Infinite requires a small investment, so you need to have some money in your wallet in order to do this. Head across to the contacts list, and in here, you'll find Deke Vincent, who is going to offer you sales every 6 or so hours, and inside of here, you can find many items that are randomly generated and can all be sold on the market. Here you're usually looking for things that you can make big profit on, usually the quicker moving items. So for example, this medkit here, we get 3 of them if we trade him 2 candles and 4 hoses. If we click confirm here, it'll tell us it'll cost 10k Koens to get this over here. If we go ahead and click this little search icon right above it, you'll see that these sell for 7k each. So if we were to buy these for 10k, sell them for 7k each, that's 21. This is a no-brainer. I'll confirm this, add materials, once again if it misses anything, exchange, and boom, just like that, we've bought something for 10k that we can sell for 21k or somewhere around there. If we go ahead and check the other items here, we'll see what else is worth it. Canvas backpack, 11, we can buy for 2. Again, a no-brainer. When you buy backpacks, they're already rolled up, so there's nothing to worry about when it comes to space. Cowhide, 10k, sells for 23, no-brainer. Rush tack backpack, I only need 3k in order to complete this as I already have some components, and we can sell it for 25. I also use this, so I'll be buying it anyways. Perfect. PP ammo, 120 for 11, sells for 236 each. For something like this, you can click it and type in the amount here. So we're getting 120, we'll search for it, click it, and type in 120 in the quantity here, click anywhere to set it, 28k, and we're buying it for 11k. Not too bad. Let's do this one too. Sentry 305, 26, and it goes for 67. And it just goes on and on. This resets every 6 hours, and I have 3 minutes left until the next reset. The only things you should really not consider buying from him is weapons, unless they're super expensive weapons that you know you can sell for a profit, even to the vendors. If we were to buy this for 39k, we can search for it, but we can only buy different pieces of it, so it's going to be difficult to piece these together mentally, at least for what you're getting. You really need to know what kind of guns you're buying from him, otherwise just don't buy anything. It's only really Deke that we can make the most profit from out of all of the vendors. Some of them, like Vita for fast-moving medical items, you may be able to make a little bit of profit buying them here and selling them. For example, we can buy this for 8k and we can sell it for 7, not a huge profit. Sometimes you'll see that these change in the market, but it's usually not too worthwhile checking. 14, yeah, it seems to all be pretty fair. I would recommend organizing your inventory just before visiting Deke, as that way you can maximize what exactly you're going to be selling, having them all sorted out properly. The timer resets in just 48 seconds, so when it does, I'll show you what it looks like when you first open Deke. Just keep in mind he does also sell normal items here. These aren't timed ones, only the items on the first tab here are worthwhile checking. You can actually make a huge amount of profit just by opening the game and visiting the market here, without even having to go into any raids, not doing scav runs or anything. And there we go, he's now run out. We'll click get limited time items, and just like that we have a new set of items here that resets in, let's see, 6 hours. Yeah, so every 6 hours he resets. Usually you can get him once or twice a day, sometimes even 3 times if you're going to be online for quite a while. So once again, we'll just run through everything, and now that the results are in, I spent 192,000 in the first one and sold everything for 444,000, leading to 251,000 in profit just by buying and selling items on the market. Then in the second round, it was a little bit more tame, 81,000 spent and 182 earned, leading to 100,000 profit, which is still pretty huge. Now, just keep in mind that Deke can actually stock high-priced things, such as really good tier 6 armor and even keys. Now, I actually managed to snatch this key over here, the main bedroom key, when I first logged in and checked Deke for the first time in this new release. This key I bought for 500 or 400,000 and it sells for 754, which is huge. There are a few other ways that we can earn money. Another way is to check your bundle coupons over here and just open everything you have and sell the items within. Some of them come with guaranteed items, such as this one for spending money on the game, or this one over here for completing missions, for example. This one gives you a chance to get any of these items down here. Obviously, you want the more more expensive ones, such as even the thermal over here, which is kind of huge. If we open the bundle, we didn't get anything too crazy from this, but you could make huge profit from getting these coupons over here and opening them. We get these by completing the weekly missions. I don't think they drop with the normal missions. If you check the contacts here, followed by Joel, followed by missions, every week you'll see new challenges here, and they should give you gift boxes as rewards as well as cash and XP too. Simply just completing missions is also a fantastic way to grind money in this game, as the more that you play, the more that you'll earn. This mission here gives me 120,000 for visiting the stables and collecting items in game and visiting motel. It's literally running to 2 different places on the map. We could do this with nothing but a pistol on us and bring back 200,000, which could be one really good item. So not only are you questing to complete and get more money in game, but you're also getting rewarded just for playing the game here in money and XP, which is huge. Completing missions is a fantastic way to get a ton of money. The further you go, the more they pay usually. This one paid 20,000, then 40, all the way up to 120,000, which is huge. This takes us across to our next ways of earning money, which obviously require a bit more skill. One of the quickest ways that you can earn money in raids is by collecting other players' weapons that they've kitted out with crazy things, scopes, lasers, suppressors, etc., and selling those in the market, or of course using them yourself, as well as expensive ammo. So when you go around and you catch other players, it's a very good idea to check their weapons to see what kind of value they have on them. For example, if I scroll down here to this FAL over here, nothing too much is worth money, except for maybe the scope over here, which sells for 10k. When you're looking at weapons in someone's inventory, just double click it to open this window, and simply just double click each of the items within it, or each of the parts within it, to see if anything's actually worth your while. This flash suppressor is 6 grand, so it's a fantastic 1 slot item, as well as the PK scope here is worth around 10k, and of course if we double check these by selling them on the market, the price should be pretty accurate to the suggested price. I'll have to search for these as they're in raid. 11k, not too bad, it's actually above what they say, and this flash suppressor goes for around 7k, which is still pretty good. I think maybe this price counts in the market fees as well, which is pretty good. But that's of course not the only thing. When you find snipers, you can find things like the scopes. Even the stock Mosin scope sells for quite a bit. If we try and sell this one here, it goes for 5.7k, which is massive. This is just an item that you'll find in a weapon that pretty much just drops on the map. Grabbing this scope gets you some instant profit of 5.7k. But keep in mind, this scope takes up multiple slots. What you can actually do is put it back on the weapon and instead grab whatever changes somewhere else in it. So for example, this ring base over here, if we pull it off, it's a 1x1 item slot, which also contains the scope within it. And when we took this off, something more changed, which is the sight mount over here as well. This is now a stack of 3 items. It's a 1x1 mount sight, as well as a 1x1 ring base and a 2x1 Mosin sight, all fitting into one single slot. All of these sell for 2k plus another 2 plus another 10, which is huge. You'd never think to grab these other items as well, but they're always worth something, and sometimes they're worth quite a bit. For example, the entire scope setup on this Mosin goes for a huge amount, as it's just such a popular grub gun. You can put some crazy ammo in here, have the rest of your extra ammo in your back pocket, in your composite case, whether it's the trial reinforced case, bulletproof or composite case, and try to take down some really heavily armored AI or of course other players and make some huge profit spending just a little bit on a cheap gun and rolling with really good ammo that can take down anyone in 1 to 2 shots. You'd be surprised how much profit you can make even just going in with a pistol and some really good ammo for that, for example. Speaking of really good ammo, that's also a very good thing to collect while you're in raid. When you get an enemy killed on the higher level maps, such as anything on lockdown and forbidden, especially if you're going to be playing armory, usually that is, the bots usually have some really good ammo on them, if not in their weapon already. So for example, you're usually looking for the purple and especially the yellow ammo. You'll usually find a ton of purple ammo on bots such as PS and of course M855 as well, depending on what kind of bot you're taking down. These items, of course, sell for 247 each. If you manage to pick up a stack of 60, you can expect around 6k back. If you pick up a stack of 60 PS ammo, for example, you can expect 22k back, and the list just goes on and on. AP 6.3, 15k, etc. So when you take down a bot, it's a very good idea to just have a look at the mags in their inventory. Say for example, I'm a bot here, you'll be right-clicking and removing ammo from each of these magazines here. Usually just one is enough, and you can spam click the X in the center to cancel it. Taking out one single bullet of ammunition should tell you what it is, and of course this is PP, so I'll be stripping the entire mag here, and when we get back we can sell 30 for 4,000, almost 5,000, which is great. It's even worthwhile checking out the weapon on the bot, so I'll usually strip 1-2 magazines, and if there's space, I'll unload the weapon, right-click unload into either my inventory or double-click it and drag the ammo into the bot's inventory where we can then strip it and see what's inside of it. Usually bots have worse ammo in their gun than in the backpack, but anyways, it's just something weird that I've seen. Sometimes the ammo types will be different depending on where you check in a bot for it. After you've gone through all of them, bam, some instant profit. Oftentimes, of course, the actual magazines sell for quite a bit as well. These sell for 3k each, so maybe you want to keep them packed. The same can especially be said for certain kinds of weapons like the FAL, certain snipers, etc. And of course, anything that's a drum or extended magazine usually sells for quite a bit as well. On top of this, you're usually checking bots for their chest plate, their helmets, headphones, etc. Usually you'll be wearing those and upgrading your own kit rather than taking them home to sell, as they usually take up quite a bit of space in your backpack, and for a price per block, it's usually not the best fit, especially if you can find some really good ammo and fill up your inventory with that. Collecting too much is going to cause you to be weighed down, so you usually be running in, filling up your inventory, and running out as soon as possible to try and not get taken down, but you already know how the game works. Finally, speaking of going in and doing the actual maps, it's a great idea to refer to online maps and quest guides, for example, that show you where the free safes are. Usually, in stables over here on farm, you'll find one upstairs, and you can just run there, pick it up, bam, you get some free stuff inside of it, sometimes really good, sometimes not so good. Down south here, just under the bridge, there's another safe here, and the same can be said about pretty much any other map. There's usually 1 or 2 free safes that are definitely worthwhile checking, especially if you just happen to spawn right next to it and can make it there. For example, Valley, you'll find one underneath the main section of the factory here, and of course, if you happen to get the beach villa spawn, which is very unlikely, you can usually find a free safe over here. At the back, I usually wouldn't recommend coming to hot zones like Beach Villa and of course the small factory, as people are coming from both sides of the map, and this is where they meet in these high loot value areas for PvP, etc. So just keep your wits about you, and usually only go for them if you spawn in a relatively close by area where it's actually worthwhile. Just looting scraps from all over the map is pretty good as well. If you can't get to any of the hot zones or you're too afraid to do so, gear fear, etc., it's always worthwhile checking pretty much everything on the map, as everything has some kind of a value. When you pick up something of more value and you have no space, drop something of less and upgrade that item slot's value so you can sell it for more when you get back home. Usually I don't really bother with searching some kinds of loot spots such as the filing cabinets, but they can contain some pretty good loot. The only things I would absolutely recommend searching are the green ammo boxes and ammo crates, which give you fantastic ammo inside of them sometimes, such as gold ammo like M80. I got 30 from just one box, that's 23k, 7N31, 60k for just 120 of them. You can get some really good ammo out of them, and it's always worthwhile checking. Even BPZ, 19,000 for 60. 7N actually was 60k for just 60. Anyways, ammo crates are fantastic, as well as weapon crates, as you can get actual weapons for them, good mods such as lasers, scopes, etc. And inside of a wooden weapon crate, I actually found a military radio which goes for 80,000 as well. These are fantastic bits of loot that you can pick up that are absolutely worthwhile taking with you over pretty much everything else. Even things like the weapon parts are around 7k for a 2-slot item. It's not too bad, but you can sometimes replace it with better things as you go. Checking computers is also usually worthwhile. Floppy disks sell for around 3k, RAM 10k, SAS drives 10k. CPUs, 10k as well. You can get some pretty good stuff from inside of them. And finally, the last bit of loot knowledge that I can put onto you is absolutely search every single jacket that you come across. You'll find these commemorative coins, 10k each, silver badges, 6k, silver chains, 10k, all the way up to actually finding pretty much any key for any map. You don't just find keys for the map that you're on, but you'll find keys for any map as you're just running around, such as the village office key, 250k, main bedroom key, 750, all the way to cards for different maps, such as the armory cards, 900,000, which is a huge find if you find it inside of a jacket. Finally, if you're running low on cash, don't worry too much. It's always worthwhile doing a Covert ops whenever you can. These little scav runs can make you massive profit, especially if you spawn with something good in your character. A few times I've actually spawned with some of these gold items on my character already in the backpack, whether it's a battery taking up an entire tea bag and things like that. Sometimes you'll have really good ammo, sometimes you'll have a really good gun with a really good scope, etc. It's always worthwhile running just for profit that you can have on you automatically, such as what's hiding in this backpack. And of course, you can pick up scraps, maybe find a huge fight that happened and someone couldn't loot everything. Then hey, there's some major profit that you can make on your way out, especially if you happen to spawn super early in a raid. You can sometimes rush other players players and get rid of them with absolutely no gear fear, as you'll get another Covert ops in just 5 or 15 minutes, however long it is. And with that, we've run through all of the basic ways that you can get money in Arena Breakout Infinite. Obviously, the deke method is the most safe way of making money in the game, usually a ton of money as well, but it just depends on luck, and the rest of the methods sort of rely on skill, as you'll need to survive the actual map in order to make profit, finish missions, etc. If you have a composite case or any kind of secure container, you can usually fit some loot in here, and if you can afford to buy it and want to support the developers, even with the pay-to-win issues or pay-to-win questions, then it's always a good thing to purchase, as you can just put things in here such as high-value items, keys especially, although you can only put them in your keychain when you get back to the stash, and things like that. So, hopefully you found this video useful, if not educational. I wish you good luck in making tons of profit in Arena Breakout Infinite, and again, if you'd like to see what's inside of any of the key locations on any map, you'll find a link to my playlist down below going through every key on every map, just so you can get the most profit out of the game. Thank you for watching, my name is Troubleshoot, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao!